Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelions.com. I'm your host, Nate Weitzer. Me and Josh have separate schedules here today, so we're each going to be bringing you one game video separately. I'm going to be talking about Nets and Knicks here in this one, and then we will splice together our player props picks. So we are still bringing you the same amount of content, just a little half and half action here on a full Wednesday slate as we come out back from Election Day with every single team in action once again. Lots to choose from. Like and subscribe to the page, and you will see all these videos, including our videos back together every weekday going forward. 2 game videos, 1 player props videos. Won't cheat you on any of that. But I'm going to run through the lines here real quick so you get the lay of the land. And the video Josh is going to be talking here is Magic +7 at home against the Fighting Lucas, those Dallas Mavericks. He does like Orlando to cover. Other games, we got Denver -5 at Indy. We got Portland -5 at Charlotte. The Jazz +3.5 at Atlanta. Pistons up to +13 at Boston. Game I'm talking here, Knicks are +3 at the Nets. And good Lord, that under bet down to 221.5. That's already down to almost 4 points. Rockets are +9.5 at Raptors. Pelicans basically the toss up at Chicago. Grizz -5 at Spurs. Bucks -6 at Thunder. Suns -1 at Wolves. Lakers +5 at the Clippers, kind of like a Lakers cover there. And then the Cavs are -4 at the Kings. And yeah, I was on the under here with the Knicks and Nets, and clearly I'm not alone. It's pretty stark, the numbers we've seen from Brooklyn lately trending towards a much, much better defensive team, and especially since Jacques Vaughn took over as interim coach. For anybody who takes the time to follow assistant coaches in the NBA, Jacques Vaughn is one of the best defensive coordinators, if you will, and had been their guy since 2-3 years ago under Steve Nash when they made that playoff run. They had pretty good defense. It was all Jacques Vaughn organizing that defense. And since he's taken over here in the last 4 games for the Nets, defensive rating drops to 104. Offensive rating drops in their points per game down to 105 points per game because of that pace. It's 92.5 now. Last year it was 99 under Steve Nash. And even in October, you look at a pace of 98.5 with a putrid 120.5 defensive rating, as Nash was really trying to figure out those lineup combinations and get guys out there that could score alongside Durant, and they sacrificed a lot of defense. I mean, they were playing Ben Simmons too many minutes. Now he's into a bit role off the bench, and they've been much more coherent defensively without Kyrie Irving as well. Just playing with much more intensity. It's kind of, we talk all the time about the stars out, bets up, and the shifting in culture you can get when you have kind of a selfish star, if you will, a guy who dominates the basketball, and he's gone, and now you have Durant who's going to dominate the basketball, but also keep guys involved and give guys confidence that they can play off of him. And the Nets have been a much more coherent team since Kyrie. First he threw up that stinker in Jacques Vaughn's first game when he was mired in the scandal, and now of course he's been suspended by the Nets, so he's not around. We've seen a sample size for years now where the Nets and the Celtics just are better on both ends of the floor without Kyrie Irving. Extremely talented player, but not the best team player, and not lifting his teammates in any way. And I don't know if you're taking the Nets because of that. I mean, they have won 7 straight over the Knicks here. I'm just on the under. If you can tease it back up to 225 here, maybe one way or the other, I would probably tease that with the Knicks to cover 7. These teams have been playing close games for sure. I mean, the Knicks have covered in most of those 7 losses, and they've been very close down the stretch, which means a lot of defense down the stretch. You look at the recent result. The last 2 went under. The Knicks were held to just 31 points total in the second half in a tight game. There was a total of 46 in the fourth quarter in that last one. Typically an NBA game, you get 50 to 60 points in the fourth quarter. The previous one, the Nets held the Knicks to just 19, coming back in the fourth quarter. And then the one before that was played at a 93 pace, hit a total of 222 with James Harden dropping 34 and 8, so he's not around. The last time they hit 225, which was the original total here, was a game where with no Durant and with Kyrie just kind of doing his individual thing on offense, dropping 40, ended the season. And, Kyrie, a Nets team that's led by Kyrie is very much going to get you buckets, going to get you no stops. This Nets team is getting stops right now. Their first game of the Jacques Vaughn era, they held the Wizards to 86 points, almost unheard of in the NBA today. We're doing a really good job guarding inside the three-point arc and daring the Wizards to beat them from deep, and they don't really have any snipers right now. They actually score the highest percentage of points off twos, so they couldn't get anything done. And the Knicks are 10th in terms of the percentage off twos. They've been really poor from the three-point line as well. The 33% from the road. From three on the road, only 30% of their points are coming off threes, so they're not the type of team that wants to spread it out. They score in the paint. Brooklyn, even with their early season struggles, allowing the 5th fewest paint points. Also, 7th fewest fast break points, 6th fewest, lowest assist to turnover ratio, and the Knicks have struggled in that department, aside from Jalen Brunson. They barely beat the Sixers over the weekend with almost an even assist to turnover ratio. So I don't necessarily expect them to be that efficient here. You talk about that 3-point shooting. They are coming off a 50% game, 19 for 38 from three against the Wolves. That was with Julius Randle shooting 8 for 13 from deep. That will absolutely never happen again. At least not for a very long time. It's not going to happen in consecutive games that Julius Randle is going to shoot that well. We saw an entire season of hardcore regression from his shooting. And the Nets have not really let him go off from deep. And you look at the Nets, the last time they hit 225 was against Indy. They've still gone under in 5 straight because that total was higher because Indy is one of the highest scoring fast-paced teams. Their games average 235. So to go 10 points below expected, if you will, is why we're seeing so much steam on the under here. The Knicks defensively give up a lot of fast break points. Nets are hardly scoring anything in the fast break under Jacques Vaughn, 9 points per game. They're second in opponents' field goal percentage overall, allowing a ton of 3-point attempts, but trying to get the right guys to shoot threes, in the Milwaukee Bucks playbook essentially of defense. So, and the Nets are only shooting 35% from three as a team right now. They did kind of start to get hot late to cover in their last game there. Coming back late against the Mavs, only losing by 2, with Joe Harris getting going. Royce O'Neal has been getting going, but I don't think that they're going to be lighting it up from the 3-point line the way we saw the Celtics just do against the Knicks, which is the only time they've gone over in their last 4 games, is because the Celtics hit a franchise high 27 threes and every single dude hit a 3. In those 4 games, the Knicks offense, 105 points per game, their offensive rating, 103. Not playing with much pace. They are a slow down team. And again, I go back to the history with these last 7 meetings, and pace of 95 between the Knicks and Nets, and Knicks getting about 107 points per game. The Nets going well below their average, where they used to be a much more free-flowing, high-scoring team, of course, if they either had Harden or Kyrie alongside Durant. And right now they don't have anybody. And so Jacques Vaughn's no dummy. He knows he has to slow it down. If Durant's going to carry this kind of crazy load, he's going to be 35% usage rate at minimum and have to just carry their offense in the half court. They don't have anybody else who's creating right now. So it's all on Kevin Durant's shoulders. So you got to play slower to get the man some rest. Total of 220 or above, I think you feel good about it. Like I said, if you want to tease it up, there's plenty of other games to look at that you can tease with to get it back to where it was around 225 and hit that under with confidence. And that is all the time we have for you in this one. Like I said, Josh will be bringing you a separate game video today, and we will be bringing you our player props in 2 different segments spliced together for your convenience. So until we see you next, happy betting.